Northeast governors, Eastern Canada premiers meet in Vermont, Massachusetts. Gov. Charlie Baker, Left, and Quebec Premier Philippe Couillard conferred during the Conference of New England Governors and Eastern Canadian Premiers on Monday, August 13, 2018, in Stowe, Vermont. AP photo, Lisa Rathka, Stowe, Vermont. AP, some governors from the Northeast U.S. and premiers from Eastern Canada on Monday called for the end of the trade war between the U.S. and Canada and a successful renegotiation of the North American Free Trade Agreement as they gathered in Vermont for an annual meeting. Despite the dispute between Washington and Ottawa, participants in the 42nd annual meeting of the New England Governors and Eastern Canadian Premiers said the cooperative ties between those states and provinces remain strong. The conference at the Stowe Mountain Ski Resort came as the U.S., Canada, and Mexico are renegotiating NAFTA. The group heard from experts in energy storage, electric vehicle innovation, and NAFTA in tariffs. 3 of the region's 6 governors attended. New Hampshire and Rhode Island sent other officials, and Maine's governor didn't attend. A major takeaway from the meeting was that the Mexican-U.S.-Canadian trading bloc as a participant on the global stage is far more influential and powerful together than it is apart, said Massachusetts Gov. Charlie Baker. And I would hope that people would recognize and understand that renewing the current agreement among these 3 players will make them all better among themselves but also make them a much more significant and important player in global trade discussions. At the end of the day, the co-chairs of the conference, Republican Gov. Bill Scott and New Brunswick Premier Brian Gallant signed a resolution concerning NAFTA and the benefits of cross-border trade. In it, the governors and premiers acknowledged the economic interdependence across the region and contribution of cross-border trade to their states' and provinces' economic prosperity. While the region has had a long-standing cooperative relationship and bonds among the leaders, concerns about the trade dispute hung over the meeting. We are now facing a situation where we are dealing with tariffs and counter-tariffs. It's to nobody's advantage, said Quebec Premier Philippe Couillard. Scott said he didn't believe trade wars worked. I think it leads to isolation among our countries, and especially the way it's being done right now, the retaliation on both sides, obviously leads to relationship damage and nothing you can fix in a matter of a couple of years, he said. It takes a long time. After a June meeting of the Group of 7 in Charlevoix, Quebec, Trump called Trudeau dishonest and weak. Then White House trade advisor Peter Navarro asserted Trudeau deserves a special place in hell for attempting to stab Trump in the back. Navarro later apologized. The U.S. imposed tariffs on Canadian steel are already being felt in the region, officials said. Trump's rhetoric has made the relationship between the U.S. and Canada more fragile, said Couillard. We've been allies, we've been neighbors, we've fought wars together. We didn't expect that type of relationship from our friend, ally and neighbor, he said. We've always been friends and allies and neighbors. And we really want it to be that way again, Couillard said. During the meeting, about a half-dozen protesters demonstrated outside against hydropower dams in Canada in what they say is not enough action to address climate change. Copyright 2018 The Associated Press. All rights reserved. This material may not be published, broadcast, written or redistributed.